Last year, first round, we saw these two coaches out on the court. Now they share the stage here today. What are you looking forward to with this becoming now maybe a bit of a conference rivalry?
Well, if I could speak first, it started off great. Obviously, they won the game, but the game was a terrific game, and what they did after that was nothing short of greatness. But I learned who they were in that game. I heard about them all year. I didn't get to watch them all year. But you find out that they're well coached, they're disciplined, and they're together, and that breeds well for our conference because you want to be able to play against teams that have that every night.
Coach May, welcome to the conference.
It's great to be here. Obviously, Memphis Tigers, Coach Hardaway, it's been a gold standard for a while, and it's an honor to be on the same playing field as them and an honor to compete against them. Obviously, one of the best games in the NCAA tournament last year. Fortunately for us, the clock ran out at the right time, but we're excited to compete for championships with them and everyone else in the league.
So the best thing about you two up here is that good basketball makes basketball better. I know it sounds silly, but that is the truth. And you guys last year, the basketball you played, the up and down, the sophistication to the simple things you did, awesome. The things you found, in more in the simplicity of the game and letting guys play, it makes for better basketball. So what does it feel like, and I'll ask you both the same question, to in a way carry the torch by playing good basketball, by being the national powerhouses that you are, Penny?
I think that's something that we both want. For our conference to show that we can play with anybody in the world, anybody in around this country, any conference, and they proved that going to the Final Four. We proved that beating teams in our non-conference schedule that people didn't think that we could beat. So for us to carry the torch, I feel proud about that. I have a certain pride about that.
Yeah, both teams are extremely competitive. They play hard. There's an identity with both programs. So those are the things that are good for the game, and we talk about it a lot, that we just want to play good basketball and trust that the outcome will be what we need it to be.
How will this conference make you possibly even better this year, Coach Dustin?
Well, obviously the media package and the attention that this league receives is second to none. And for us to pull back the curtain and put our guys on the biggest stage is something that we look forward to because they're prepared, they're hungry, and they plan on applying pressure versus wilting against pressure.
So, we lose Houston, Cincinnati, UCF. We bring a Final Four team in. How does that elevate your game? Because Houston, Cincinnati, Memphis, those were epic games.
Yeah, epic games, but the game last year with FAU, like you said, they're not going to wilt under pressure. That's what makes it even better because for me, that gets my juices flowing, being the competitor that I am, knowing that those guys aren't going to wither, so we can't will either. So we're ready, and we look forward to all the battles that we have.
How do you keep your guys from getting too comfortable on a trip to Boca?
Oh, no.
These guys are used to it.
Hey, one thing I did know, I was in Boca about a month ago, and I went by FAU. I just spoke to Coach on the way. He didn't know I was there. But it is beautiful, but we know that it's not going to be beautiful inside that gym.
Business trip.
February 25th, you have to go to Memphis first. What do you look forward to about playing there at FedEx Forum?
Well, obviously the history. I've been in that gym a few times when I coached at UAB and other places, and they're never very friendly when you get in there. So we're gonna have to bring a great effort, but the environment, the passion that city has for basketball is impressive. So we just look forward to it, and we have to play them about twice in a matter of 8 or 9 days. So it's going to be a busy last week or two of the season.
Dusty, you said, is it run it back? Run it back is the motto for this year. Look, it's easy to say, yeah, let's run it back. How do you run it back?
Well, everything changed for all of us this offseason, so we're not really trying to chase running it back. It's great for marketing, it's great for recruiting, but we're trying to be the best team we can be. We need to bury all the other stuff from last year and start building towards this coming season because we've got a lot of work ahead of us.
To go from that hunter to hunted, what's the mentality that you're challenging your players to really have this year?
Well, fortunately for us, our guys are elite competitors and workers. So once they get between the lines, they're as consistent, they're hungrier than ever. Now it's outside the lines that we can't let all the attention, accolades breed complacency, and that's something that we have to be on guard for all year. But once our guys get in between the lines, nothing's changed.
Penny, as you've gone over the last few years, there's been times where you get more sophisticated, more details, then there's times where you reel it back. What do you think gives you the best edge this season? It's a new group, as we understand. You're building on an identity that's been there over the last few years, but you're starting to hone it in. So what gives you the best advantage this year?
I think what gives us the best advantage is experience.
Yeah,
you got a lot of guys that have done it on a high level. Caleb Mills, Javon Quinterly, Jaquan Walden, David Jones, Jordan Brown. These guys have done it on a high level. So I think having that comfort of those guys, I don't have to coach as hard, meaning you got enough guys that have been there.
And you got a sense of urgency, time running out.
Yeah, there is a
these
sense
dudes
of
have like
urgency.
6-7 years in college nowadays.
No doubt. But yeah, there is a sense of urgency. But these guys have chips on their shoulders and know what we have to do. And we're all doing it as one unit.
And Dusty, what does it say about all you guys coming back? I mean, even after, particularly I should say, after the success you had.
A couple things. Number one, they love playing with each other.
Yeah.
They share the ball. They compete at a high level. They share success. They share everything that goes into it. So it's a throwback group. And I think anytime you have that feeling of trusting, loving your teammates, then it's hard to leave that for the unknown. And these guys, they live it. They don't just speak it.
Yeah, is your 1 through 5 being interchangeable an advantage or a risk at times, and how do you balance between the two?
Well, we play so many guys, and that's one of the reasons we have to play with such with so much tempo and pace, so we can get these talented guys more minutes and more possessions. Sometimes it's tough to weigh because we have starters, and then there's other guys that really have great chemistry and flow together. Yeah. So we're looking more at matchup combinations and whatnot, but definitely our depth and our continuity, those are our biggest strengths.
To have 8 of 9 of the primary contributors back, Coach, there's a lot we do know about your team, but tell us, what's one thing maybe we don't know about this version of FAU men's basketball?
Losing Mike Force obviously hurts on a lot of fronts, but we have some other guys that are ready to play, that have been ready to play, but because of circumstances had to take a back seat. So we're excited to inject some young size, athleticism, versatility with some of the guys that haven't had a chance to showcase their skills. So we'll be a little bit different, but we'll be versatile and we'll still play a lot of guys.
Penny, how's it going coaching your kids? I talked to Fran McCaffrey a lot about this, and you know, it seems like it'd be more challenging than it actually is. Have you been able to enjoy it, or is that time coming down the road?
No, I've been able to enjoy it.
Good.
I made sure that, having both my sons on the team, that I was going to enjoy it. I was going to be dad and coach, but more dad, and just enjoy the ride because they both know what to do.
Yeah.
They both are having fun, and we're going to enjoy this year for sure.
Yeah.
Coaches, thank you so much for joining us here today. Now we have Bryan Greenlee standing by with us.
Thanks, Morgan. Okay, Bryan, we're talking off air, and before we even talk about basketball, all right, and talk about last year and what you guys are doing on the court, I think one of the coolest conversations we had was you have interest in outside of basketball, right, where you're getting your degree in supply chain management. Why?
Well, first, I really have like an entrepreneurship type mindset. So just getting a degree in something that I could apply outside of basketball that interests me, I felt like was a good route to take.
Well, you talked about too living in Boca. It's a different feel in Boca, and you have an opportunity to talk with major business leaders in the area to kind of learn, right?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a lot of good advice. I've networked a little bit and have made some connections that I feel like I could use to propel my career outside of basketball.
Now, you sold me. I'll be your first investor when you're ready, okay?
All right, sounds good.
So we do have to go in the Wayback Machine a little bit.
Yeah.
You make that Final Four run, most wins in school history. When you got into the NCAA tournament specifically, was there a game or a moment that was a little bit of that pinch me and saying, wow, we made it?
I would say when we first got there, just experiencing everything, just the environment, the atmosphere. Obviously, it was a first for me, first for the program, so I feel like every moment was kind of a pinch me. Every win that we got, every round that we advanced was like almost surreal. You're just allowing your body to take over and your mind is kind of not caught up to it yet.
That's a great way of putting it, and I think one of the reasons why you guys are so successful is everybody talks about your unselfishness, you as a player, your teammates. I went to practice 3 weeks ago, and your practice was so good, it looked fake. It didn't look real because of how much you guys were competing.
Yeah.
And you're in the American Conference. It's a new conference, new league, new fan bases that you'll be playing against. You've got to explain to us, is that connectivity of that brotherhood, is it real or is it fake? I mean, what?
No, it's real. It's real. We've just obviously started this thing from the ground up and have built that brotherhood. It's not something that it just connects, when we first get there. Obviously, we had to go through a lot of trials, a lot of losses, a lot of tough days together to really build that brotherhood, but it's real, yeah.
Practice ends, you guys just don't leave practice, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're always just cracking jokes, hanging out. We love to be around each other.
So give us a perspective. How much have you guys talked about coming into the American Conference, but then at the same time, you can't dwell on last year, right?
Yeah.
You can appreciate it, but you guys talk about run it back. But one of the phrases that Coach May uses to me to talk about this season is shared sacrifice. Has he talked about that with you guys? Because you guys go 13, 14 deep.
Yeah, definitely. Just that aspect of sharing and, you know, wanting to just have our ultimate goal be winning. Some guys got to take more of a backseat role, and they just have to accept that. And I feel like that's what made us successful. And like you said, coming into the American, we've talked about it for sure. We know that there's new competitors. It's going to be obviously very challenging, but we just take a day-by-day approach and try to attack each day as best as we can.
Okay, just to kind of geek out from a basketball standpoint, we'll talk offense because nobody wants to talk about defense right now. But we'll talk offense. When I watch you guys in the half court specifically, every time someone catches a pass, you know, especially if it comes from you or you're receiving it, there seems to be an immediate known decision that's made, right? I'm putting it on the deck, shot, or pass. How did you guys build into that camaraderie from an X's and O standpoint on the offensive end?
I think just Coach May definitely talks about this a lot, but just the power of a quick swing and not holding the ball too long. And I think that comes with also, too, wanting to just get the best shot. I mean, before we catch the ball, a lot of times we're reading closeouts before our guy even gets there, so we know, okay, put it on the deck if he's too close, or maybe take the shot if he's too far back, or just a quick swing to get a better shot.
Well, we appreciate it, Bryan. Thanks for your time, man, and looking forward to watching the Owls play. And there's power in the swing. I love that. So we're going to swing it back to the main desk and you, Morgan.
Oh my God, what kind of transition is that? The swing of it. Look, Coach Dusty May, Final Four coach. Coach Dusty May, Final Four coach. Welcome to the American Athletic Conference. How did you choose what player you brought today? Because you have a bevy of personalities and players that kind of fill many different roles.
Well, first with BJ bringing Bryan, he's an unsung hero where he sacrifices a lot. He was a double-digit scorer for us early in his career, and he's transitioned into a pass-first guard, I think one of the best, most impactful defenders in the league. And so there's a small handful of guys on our team that don't get a lot of love through the media, and we wanted to try to reward those guys, and he was the one that jumped out. And our guys also spent a lot of time in the gym working on their game, so we didn't want to interrupt their rhythm, taking 2 days off as well.
How difficult do you think you are to prepare for, given the balance you have, the amount of bodies you could throw out, and the variety within the different bodies you could throw out there?
Well, in one regard, we have 8 perimeter players, and they're all very capable of being our leading scorer on any given night. But I think what makes us extremely difficult to prepare for are our two-headed monster at the 5 with Golden and Rosado, where it's almost as if we're playing 2 completely different offensive systems when they're in. So if I was preparing for us, you almost have to prepare for 2 different styles of play, two separate identities, and even defensively, we change up based on who we have in the game at that time. So very, very unique blend of talented players.
So you wouldn't like to have to prepare for yourself?
I would not like to have to prepare for these guys.
Coach May, welcome to the American. We're thrilled to have you and really looking forward to seeing what you all do here this season.
Thanks, Morgan. It's great to be here.
And when you make your first Final Four, you get a special all-access on ESPNU early November. FAU, run it back. We're getting our first look at a special trailer right here.
We in paradise.
Just super blessed.
If somebody call you weak, it's not to pull you down. It's to see if you gonna fight back. Because when we in this war, ain't nothing gonna be easy, dog.
If you're not prepared when the curtains pull back, then you get exposed.
We hate losing.
All the love you get from winning, you don't want to stop.
When we transition and not fouling, we're gonna be hard to play against fellas.
I don't think blood will make us any closer.
Real deal.
All in my court, high step.
Repeat on 6, 1, 2, 3. Go by 6.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
All right, the first look at the Run It Back trailer coming November 5th, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPNU. Really looking forward to checking that out.